Currently, I work with young people from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Like 90% of the people that I'm working with are coming from Bosnia and Herzegovina, and 10% are from the region in Europe. I have experience working with international groups, but generally speaking, in my 15 plus years as a youth worker, I worked with young people between 16 and 24 years of age as a majority of the young people that I work with. When it comes to gender differences, I think there is more or less the same number of female and males that I worked with. For me, the biggest interests are the young people with fewer opportunities. In Bosnia and Herzegovina, that's a very wide range of young people because we are a rural country. There's a numbers of young people who don't have opportunities on the daily basis, such as youth centers, cinemas, cultural events, being part of youth organization, having proper education, and so on and so on. So in Bosnia and Herzegovina, I don't pick people that I work with. I don't pick it anyway, but my personal interests are supporting young people and the individuals and the groups who are either very excluded or, for instance, socially excluded young people, or the young people who are very, I would say, proactive in a sense that they're building bringing the new value to the society. Either in young entrepreneurs and startups, young creative people, young cultural and arts people are some of my interest.
Many of them are not in work life or they're not studying or working. So they basically don't have anything to do. The place where I work, there's a cafeteria and the gaming house, so they come there to spend their free time a lot. But sometimes there's also a different kind of organized groups about which there's can be like goals for the group is to get the work for the youngsters or practice some kind of practical skills which help to get to work or survive in day-to-day life. So there's many kind of youngsters basically, but most of them are most of the time I'm working during their free time, not in a school or not in any other place.
Okay, so the young people that I work with, they come from a rural village. Okay, so what happens? They don't have like a private car. They are still too young. Okay, so they can only contact with people from their background. They can only contact with people that go to school with them. So we are talking about kids from 12, 13, 14 until 18. So when they go to the university, of course they meet other people. Erasmus students and people from different culture. But until then, there is nothing here. We are full of people working agriculture. The village is really small. It's mostly old people. And what if we feel is like they perpetuate the closed-mindedness of the community. So basically, these are the young people that I work with. And I feel like the major impact that youth work has is bringing the otherness, is confronting them to difference, and for them to see, okay, so I judge them because my parents don't like them or because my parents don't like that difference. And what I see on the internet maybe is completely different from what I see when I talk with someone that is different from me. So this makes them understand the difference, their role as European citizens, although they are in a rural village in the middle of nowhere, they are still European, and they have to assume this role, and they only can do that if they are able to contact with other European youth that can make them think about it. And okay, by proximity, but also by understanding and get to know life stories and so on. And I think youth work, either we talk about youth exchanges or just watching videos or online work, it's all about it's experience in firsthand. That's what I think it's most important for me.
Okay, so I work with LGBTQ plus people. LGBT term stands for like lesbian, gay people, trans people, non-binary people. It stands for queer, intersex people, for asexual people, bisexual people, and all type of gender identities and sexuality, sexual identities that they're not part of the norm that we are grown up, like being a cisgender person or an heterosexual person, and the ages are the ages are different according to the activities that we're doing, and mainly it's young people from 15 to 18 years old, where also there we require sometimes in part of the activities, especially the ones that might be a bit more like when we do outdoor activities, we require like permission from the parents, and sometimes it's hard to get it because many of these young LGBT people are not out to their families. So then it's hard also to ask, hey, parents, can I go to this event which is outdoor, learning about LGBT young people, because that's also like not something that is applicable for the ones who are still in the process of coming out to their families. They're still fearing that if they come out to their families, they might be kicked out of the house, they might be abused, and so on. Another part of our target group is also 18 till 30 years old. This we call the young adults. And this is the most common target group also because of the European projects that we do within Erasmus Plus and the European Solidarity Corps. These young adults, they are considered adults by law, so then for them it's easier to participate in activities and not require like the parents' permission, though it's still hard for them to talk and communicate about the LGBT plus related events that they are attending. This specific target group is a challenging one to work with, in the sense that there are a lot of needs because of the discrimination, because of the hate speech online, offline, because of the daily struggles. Many of the young people that I work with are going through depression. They have different set of traumas. In particular, trans and non-binary people are more having thoughts about suicidal and so on because of their identity and because being like in non-acceptive, non-supportive environments. But at the same time, working with young LGBT people and having also my personal experience and history with it is something that is very rewarding, and to see the impact that we do and I do every day through my work and the opportunities that I offer in the daily youth work is something really amazing, because at the end of the day, LGBT young people, all they really want is to be loved, accepted, and nurtured for who they are, and that they can feel that, yay, I actually have my own potential and I can make it happen. So having such opportunities for them to be in the safe space with other LGBT plus young people or allies is really very, very important for them, for their life, for their personal and professional growth.
I have a big interest, and I have a big desire to work with young people from rural places, because Novosibirsk and Russia, actually, it's a huge territory. So we have a lot of young people that can participate in some activities for young people, can use measures that we have in our region and or in country, etc. And they need more instruments, more measures for involving them, for giving them opportunities to participate in something. And actually, I was born in village, so for me it's about me too, because I I faced these issues, these barriers in my life. So I want to address these issues, having now some resources, some power in my position that I have in Ministry of Education. So rural youngers, it's my not my favorite, but it's that groups which I trying to work mostly